All right, let's dive in. We're tackling the 4-hour work week today.
A classic, and for good reason. Still so relevant even years later.
You guys send in sources on the updated version, so we're going deep.
What's fascinating is how Ferriss redefines wealth entirely.
Right. It's not just about the money, is it?
Not at all. This new rich idea, it's freedom AD resources.
Challenges the whole climb the ladder, retire at 65 thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ferriss lives it. Even his athlete background shows that.
He won the Chinese kickboxing championship, but kind of unusually.
Pushing opponents out of the ring? Legal, but unexpected.
Exactly. Shows that whole question the rules principle.
We limit ourselves with rules, societal expectations.
That don't actually help us, yeah. Find those loopholes, he says.
Everywhere in life.
Yeah.
One way is how we see income.
Relative income, right? Time matters as much as dollars.
Imagine two people, same $100,000 salary, one works 80 hours a week.
The other, only 10. Huge difference.
Who's truly wealthier? It's not just the number.
Makes you think about your own situation for sure.
Trading time for money. Does it match your goals, your values?
Big changes are scary, though. Ferriss gets that. He talks about fear setting.
Not ignoring fear, but tackling it strategically.
Figure out the worst case, plan for it. Usually not that bad.
Often not as bad as we imagine, yeah.
He tells the story, his friend, terrified to quit his job.
But he did it. Turned out great, actually.
Shows how fear holds us back from what could be awesome.
Applies to anything, starting a business, travel, anything. What challenge are you facing?
What's the worst that happens? Could you handle it, really?
Then comes dreamlining. Getting specific about what you want.
Turn those vague ideas into actions. I want to be successful. Okay, how do you work?
He has that exercise, 4 dreams that change it all for you.
Break them down into achievable steps.
From being goals to doing goals.
And sometimes that means asking for help, even from big names.
Ferriss is all about that. He has a whole email technique for it.
Like that Princeton student emailing Silicon Valley execs.
And it worked. More access than we realize, often.
Be curious, respectful, concise in what you say.
So who do you want to connect with? What would that email look like?
Challenge, but worth it. But before we email CEOs, there's the low information diet.
Not about ignoring important stuff, more being selective.
We're bombarded with info, right? News, social media, it's overwhelming.
Exactly. Is it all beneficial, really?
How long do you spend scrolling, watching news? Is it helping?
Be mindful. Relevant to your goals. Accurate, helping or hindering.
Cut the noise, focus on what matters. Then there's that Pareto principle.
80-20 rule, yeah. Figure out the tasks that make the biggest impact.
Work smarter, not harder. That's where automation outsourcing come in.
Ferriss lays out building a muse, a business that runs itself.
It sounds crazy, but he gives examples, actual steps to do it.
Right product, right service. Key is it can be automated.
Like Doug selling sound effects online. Simple idea, successful business.
He goes through finding manufacturers, websites, outsourcing customer service.
Goal is the system runs itself, your time is freed up.
He suggests Alibaba, Weebly, WordPress, even non-tech people can manage it.
And what you can't automate, outsourcing.
Virtual assistants. So much you can hand off these days.
Emails, appointments, customer service, even booking trips.
Use outside resources, expertise. Your time is for what matters to you.
And freeing up time, escaping the office, remote work.
A dream for many. But Ferriss gives a guide, step by step.
Negotiate it, even if your company doesn't usually do it.
Make it a win-win for you and your employer.
How do you even start that conversation?
Focus on the benefits to them. Productivity, cost savings.
Start small, 1 day a week. Prove you can handle it.
Use planned events, home repair, family thing. Work remotely then.
Show you can do it. What I like is he anticipates pushback.
Gives you arguments to use, strategies for those objections.
Ask questions. Find the real reason they're hesitant.
Be persistent but proactive. Find a solution that works for both sides.
It's about control, designing your work to fit your life.
And with that freedom, mini retirements.
Ferriss says long-term travel isn't just for the rich.
Or retired folks. Anyone can do it.
Budget tips, house sitting, volunteering, living somewhere cheaper.
He breaks down budgets, shows how affordable it can be.
And he gets the challenges, visas, packing, staying connected.
But he's got solutions. Finding flights, accommodation, the whole buy it there packing method.
Technology to stay in touch, be resourceful, do your research.
Travel as an investment in yourself.
Broaden your horizons, new perspectives, come back recharged.
But then, you're back. What then?
That what now feeling. Goals achieved, but then what?
True fulfillment, it's not just about the external stuff.
So finding meaning. How do we do that?
Explore your passions. Contribute to causes you care about.
Service to others.
Doesn't have to be huge gestures. Help a neighbor. Volunteer locally.
Use that freedom to make a positive impact.
It's about more than just you.
Mm.
So, Muse Foundation, escaping the office.
Taking those mini retirements. But the real magic is putting it into action.
And that's what's coming up next. People who've done it, transform their lives.
Real-world stories, challenges, triumphs, inspiration for everyone.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more 4-Hour Workweek wisdom in part 2.
Back again, still diving into the 4-hour work week.
Last time, that Muse concept. A business you barely touch still makes money.
But Ferriss actually gives you a roadmap, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. Setting it up, choosing the right thing to offer.
He gets into specifics.
Products, information-based services, good for automation.
Remember that Doug guy selling sound effects?
Simple idea. Became a whole business.
It's inspiring. You don't need some revolutionary thing.
Meet a need, produce it efficiently. There you go.
Ferriss walks you through it all, finding manufacturers.
Website setup, customer service, all outsourced.
The system does the work. That's the point.
He suggests Alibaba for products.
Then Weebly, WordPress for websites.
User-friendly, even if you're not super techy.
And what you can't automate, that's where outsourcing really shines.
Virtual assistants, they can do so much these days.
It's kind of amazing. Emails, scheduling, talking to customers.
Booking your travel even.
Leverage other people's skills, frees you up for what you're best at.
Exactly. And speaking of freedom, getting out of that office.
Remote work, for many, it feels impossible.
But Ferriss has a guide, how to negotiate it.
Even if your company's never done it before.
You have to frame it right, win-win for everyone.
So how do you even start telling your boss you want this?
Highlight what they get out of it. Productivity goes up, costs go down.
Employee morale, all that.
Start small, 1 day a week, then maybe more as you prove it works.
He even says, use planned events to your advantage.
Home repairs, family thing, gotta work remotely anyway. Might as well be a permanent.
Show them it's doable. And what's smart is, Ferriss knows there'll be resistance.
He gives you counter-arguments, ready to go.
Ask questions, figure out the real objection, not the surface one.
Keep talking, offer solutions, be persistent, but helpful.
In the end, it's about you having control.
Your work fits your life, not the other way around.
And then you get to the fun stuff. Mini retirements.
Ferriss is adamant travel isn't just for rich people.
Or retirees. Anyone can do it, he says.
He gives all these budget tips.
House sitting, volunteering, moving to chipper countries.
He'll give you actual budget breakdowns.
It shows you it is possible.
And he's realistic. Visas, packing, staying in touch. It's not all easy.
But he's got answers. Cheap flights, finding places to stay.
His buy-it-there method for packing keeps things light.
Technology to stay connected. Resourcefulness is key.
Do your research, be prepared, but open to the unexpected too.
He sees travel as this investment, but in yourself.
Come back with new ideas, new energy.
But then you do come back, right, to normal life. What then?
That's where it gets tricky. You've done it all, what N-O-W.
Achieved the goals, but then there's this emptiness.
It's not enough, just the external achievements.
So how do we find that deeper meaning?
Ferriss says, look to what you're passionate about.
Contribute to something bigger than yourself.
Service to others.
Doesn't have to be huge, though.
Help someone locally, volunteer your time, mentor somebody.
Use that freedom you've gained to actually make a difference.
So Muse Foundation, escaping the office.
Taking those mini retirements. But then it comes down to actually doing it.
And that's what we'll explore next time.
Oh.
People who've lived this change their lives because of it.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've talked the talk, broken down the ideas.
But now, walking the walk.
Yeah.
People who took the 4-hour work week and actually made it happen.
What's it really like, designing a life on your terms?
This is where it gets exciting, right? Beyond the theory.
Real stories, people using these principles to change everything.
Careers, finances, their whole life.
We've got a musician, first up, from Munich, feeling burnt out, creatively stuck.
Gigs, teaching, no time for his own music.
Then he read the book and decided to change things, big time.
Realized a lot of what was draining him could be outsourced.
He started small, VAs for emails, scheduling.
Then he got bolder, language tutor, finding recipes, even social media.
Shows how it's not just for business outsourcing.
It's mental energy too. Delegate what doesn't need you specifically.
And he had amazing results. More time, more energy for his music.
Started writing, recording again, even got a touring gig with a big band.
Works in any field, this stuff.
Not just escaping a job, it's building a life that supports your passions.
Next up, photographer. Struggling financially but dreamed of travel.
Spending hours editing, marketing, all the admin stuff.
Couldn't actually do the travel photography she loved.
So she turned to the 4-hour work week.
Started by automating photo editing, software, online services.
I hired a VA too. Emails, scheduling, social media.
Frees her up to take amazing photos, connect with clients.
She even did remote consultations, workshops. Technology makes it possible.
Work with people anywhere.
Shows the power of that, right? Remote work, automation.
Your business works even when you're not physically there.
She traveled, built her business, doing what she loved.
Now, what about people in regular jobs? Not everyone's an entrepreneur.
We've got this guy, loved his company, but that 9-to-5 grind.
He was hesitant, but the book gave him the push.
Asked his boss to work remotely. Everyone said it'd never happen.
But he took Ferriss's advice seriously.
Structured proposal, benefits to the company, addressed their worries.
And he was persistent. Didn't give up at the first no.
Kept talking, offered solutions. Eventually the boss came around.
It's possible, even in big companies, you can ask, hey, for what you need.
He worked less, got more done, more family time.
Got more involved in his community, too. Coaching, local boards.
Having the time lets you contribute in other ways. That's the point.
Last story, this family, they took mini retirements to a whole new level.
Sold their house, got rid of most of their stuff.
Traveled the world with their 2 kids, nomadic life.
Weren't rich, just a normal family who decided experiences mattered more.
Homeschooled the kids along the way, exposed them to so much.
Volunteering on farms, teaching English, even helped build houses.
You don't need to be wealthy, you need to be resourceful.
And open to adventure. This family, they make you question everything.
What's really important? Stuff or memories, connections, making a difference.
So what do we learn from all these stories? What's the takeaway?
It's for everyone, these principles, any job, any income.
It's a mindset, more than anything. Question how things are supposed to be.
And then you got a ACT, easy to dream, harder to start doing.
Pick one area of your life. What's the first step you can take?
Don't be afraid to experiment, try things, step outside that comfort zone.
The 4-hour work week gives you tools, but you build the life.
If you could design your perfect day, what would it look like?
Start bringing those pieces in, little by little.
That's the challenge we leave you with. What changes will you make?
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it useful.
Now go out there and design a life you love.